Fractal 75, Sunqua Peak. The instabilities of today are frailty and toxic sickness. This fractal took me a week of trying to make work, and the new instabilities have helped me quite a bit. Frailty makes us take extra damage, but we're also faster. Normally I don't really care about being faster, but in this fractal, during the air phases mostly, the extra speed has helped out. And since we can't puke on our friends, toxic sickness only has an upside. Now there are a few things that have changed in this fractal since level 50. The first one is during the air phases, there will now be a giant orange circle expanding, and when it's completely filled in, there will be a giant explosion. Explosion is lethal, so you have to dodge or use invulnerabilities. For the first boss, the Voice of the Mountain, I have found the perfect time to dodge. When the new orbs spawn, you have to dodge the moment they came into being. Luckily you only have to fill 4, so that's easy. For the end boss I have a different system, since there are instead of 4, 8 different things to collect. And I have to rely on a different visual. When the orange expanding circle reaches the edge, I count to 3 and then dodge. This has worked surprisingly well, but since each attempt can take up to 30 minutes, I do make mistakes sometimes. But that one I knew would be a problem. But besides the air, there's some other mechanics that have changed, and to be honest, I didn't think they would be an issue. One of them wasn't even on my radar. During the water phase, the tidal bargains have been upgraded. Instead of once every 3 seconds, you now get a stack once every second. And they don't last for 6 seconds, they last for 10 seconds now. For some reason, this has ruined my strategy I used for 25 and 50. Not only that, every time I tried something out in 25 to see if I could survive the bargain, it didn't work in 75. I used to wiggle behind a turret, and that would for some reason work, but in 75 it sometimes did and sometimes didn't, and the inconsistency was throwing me off, because after half an hour, just failing because I don't know what, was really demotivating. So I went back to the drawing board, and on 25 I figured that you can just stand inside a friendly NPC. Not a pet, but rather a summon. I discovered it on the Golemancer rune. I also saw that in 25, my ranger could just stand inside a frost spirit, or any other spirit, and wouldn't get any bargain stacks. Hooray! I thought, but on 75, no, you just die. It's like standing in the rain without an umbrella. I have noticed though that the bargains can be obstructed. So during the mid-fight with the fallen boulders, or the end with the meteors, you can sidestep behind those and be safe. And I suspect that's the same reason the turrets worked, or can work. But no issue, if hiding behind something doesn't work, I have a different idea. The bargains deal 80% of your health if they reach 10 stacks. But if you're downed, they will only hit for 10% of your health. So with some theory crafting, I figured that you could stay alive in down state. Took me a few tries to get it on Ranger, but eventually the pet licked my wounds enough so that I could survive. And I found a safe spot for the rest of the fight during the bargains to go down and res up fast enough to stay in the fight. However, there comes the second problem. In 25 and 50 there was only one bargain, and in 75 there are 2 bargains back to back, which was too much for my poor ranger. I was tempted to give up, and I even made a video asking for your help. Put up a bounty, and during the making of the video I noticed something. I noticed that my pet was just going wherever it wanted to be, even outside of the arena. Meaning that even though I couldn't escape, nor my spirits, my pet just ran off, and I suspected any other summons would. This brought me to my last idea, and that's why I'm on my thief now. The idea is simple. I place down a portal outside of the arena. I go in, I do my thing, and place a portal back, and then replace it, and go back in again. The first two phases are quite clunky. On Engi and Ranger, those were very manageable, but on Thief, it for some reason didn't work out at all. I probably had too much on my mind to not forget the portal, which happened only once, so that's a good excuse, I would say. Now, a few things I discovered. The giant explodey air thing is around 2000 range. If you stand at the starting area, a bit below the giant circle, then you're just fine. However, the giant exploding meteor thing, you have to stand behind a meteor. It doesn't have to be right behind it. You can just stand on the stairs if you're lucky with your meteor. But if it's not, then well, you're dead. This was another problem because the meteors spawn every 50 seconds and Shadow Portal is every 60 seconds. So I had to think of a way to survive the first part, which took 30 seconds. And then I just placed a portal just when the meteors were about to hit, go in, survive the next meteor, go out, and then wait for the next meteor. So I was only inside for around half the time. After the meteors hit, I came to the water phase. And my theory proved correct. If you're outside of the arena, the tidal bargain doesn't hit you. And if you're at the same spot as where you can't be hit by the air explosion, you won't get the green explosion either. So that's a win, right? Well, I can't be hit, but I'm also locked out of the arena. So I had to resort to something drastic. The arena had now a second ball. The first one was the one that was already up on air and fire. But during the water, there's just an extra, I don't know, for the bargain game mechanic, or perhaps because it tries to push you out. They placed another set of walls. Anyways, it locked me out. But as I mentioned earlier, pets and summons are not locked out. So that's the drastic thing. Only my Thieves Guild can attack the end boss. And Thieves Guild is up every 2 minutes. And I have figured out that it's around 1% of health every 3 Thieves Guilds. So give or take 100 Thieves Guilds later and the boss is dead. Around 3 hours later. I may or may not have cheated, but it's warranted because no one wants to see 100 Thieves Guilds. Least of all my PC. My PC doesn't want to record 3 hours or partial bits of just Thieves Guild wailing away on the end boss. And I couldn't do this. It was already near midnight, and then to stay inside for 2 hours? No. But you're none the wiser because I just cut it out. The main part I excuse myself from doing it is that there is no danger. If you're outside on the stairs, the green circle can't hit you, the water tornadoes can't hit you. The only thing that can hit you are the 2 orange circles, and if you just have your heal ready or on autocast, then you're invincible. I could even just go to the toilet and still be alive. My idea was that I waited during the tidal bargain for the last attack, which is sort of a circle round. Then I would spawn my Thieves Guild. They would run in, and hopefully she would stay in the middle or rush towards me, and then wait some more. Alright, that's enough. Let's skip to the last bit. Wow, 30% gone in just a flash. What kind of magic is this? Well, anyway, it's a bit anticlimactic, but it's 75 done, all solo, which means we're now in the master tier. I'm pretty hyped for it. I hope you are too. See you in 76.